So I'll make you a deal. You give me about 5 minutes of your time, and I'll tell you about all the new releases coming out this week, including Live A Live. Hello, and welcome to Parents Guide Games. My name is Stefan. You please like, share, and subscribe. Here are the games for the week of April 25th, 2023. The first game on our list is Bramble, the Mountain King. This is on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch, and PC. The rating is mature. The content descriptions: blood and gore, intense violence, partial nudity. This is an adventure game in which players control a child trying to rescue their sister within a dark, neurotic-inspired fantasy land. From the mostly sideways perspective, players traverse platforms while solving puzzles, avoiding giants and monsters, and battling various enemies. During fail scenarios, monsters are sometimes seen fatally injuring the young character, biting off his head, crushing them, slicing them in half. One level prompts players to stop a woman from drowning a character. The act is depicted in still storybook images as players come across the corpse and aftermath during gameplay. One intense sequence depicts a young character repeatedly stabbing a boss creature in the face, splattering blood on the character. A handful of levels require players to wade through blood and traverse through stylized giant limbs and/or animal parts. During the course of the game, a human-like creature is depicted partially nude with exposed buttocks and mostly covered breasts. The next game on our list is Live A Live. This is coming out on PlayStation 5 and PC. The rating is teen. The content descriptions: blood, crude humor, fancy violence, language, and suggestive themes. This is a role-playing game in which players follow a narrative through several chapters. As players progress through each chapter, they can engage in turn-based tactical combat against enemies. Players select weapons and attacks to defeat enemies on grid-based battlefields. Battles are highlighted by impact sound, cries of pain, and mild explosions. Some sequences depict additional acts of violence and blood: a wounded character spitting up blood after a fight, a woman impaling herself with a knife, a character bleeding out on the ground. The game contains some suggestive material: moaning sounds after two characters enter a cave, a hay bale shaking implying sexual activity, a character designed with slightly breast-jiggled effects, a corpse pile, partially exposed buttocks. Swear words appear in-game. Now let's take a closer look at Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. This got on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. The rating is teen. Content descriptions: alcoholic references, blood, and violence. This is an action-adventure game in which players assume the role of a hunter who must save a village from a monster invasion. Players traverse a fantasy world and hunt down and kill various dragons, windens, and giant spiders. Players use swords, hammers, bows, and axes to kill creatures in frantic melee-style combat. Spurts of blood are often depicted when players and creatures are injured during combat. A handful of missions allow players to operate mounted turrets and cannons to shoot rampaging creatures. The game contains several references to alcohol in the dialogue. The last game on today's list with a full description is Star Wars Jedi Survivor. It's coming on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and PC. The rating is teen. Content descriptions: mild language and violence. This is an action-adventure game in which players assume the role of an outlawed Jedi on the run from the Galactic Empire. From a third-person's perspective, players explore alien planets while using their Jedi powers to traverse environments and battle enemies in melee-style combat. Players use lightsabers to slash and break apart alien creatures, droids, and humanoid enemies. Combat is fast-paced with cries of pain, impact sounds, and large explosions. Some sequences depict characters being impaled through the chest. Swear words are heard in-game. And the rest of the game on today's list are also coming out, but no information was available. Please follow Parents Guide Gaming on YouTube and Facebook, and email any questions at parentsg2g@gmail.com. And thank you for watching, and please subscribe.